Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. September is here. We got kids getting called up. We've got wildcard. A bunch of guys just ended up on other teams. Let's talk ball. Oh, Volpe 2020. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, a special Labor Day Friday. Let us be the first to wish you a happy Labor Day. Trev didn't even know it was Labor Day. Thank you to SeatGeek for putting on this program. As always, code TALKIN, save yourself some money. Maybe go see some prospects your team called up. Or you know what? Buy a flight and head out to LA this weekend and watch Braves-Dodgers. Because I'm so mad and happy I stayed up. I'm mad that I'm old and I can't just stay up like a kid anymore. And I woke up extra groggy today because I was watching baseball, which is like, I don't want to say half pathetic. I guess it's also tied to my career now a little bit. But it was also awesome, man. Those two teams are, if we get 7 out of them, fire me up. And the man who fires me up, Trevor Plouffe, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm fired up this morning. I had some news for you. I tried to FaceTime you before the show because I just wanted to share something you didn't pick up. It's okay. I, too, watched the Dodgers-Braves game last night. I went to the Dodger game. I've been kind of full Dodgers as of late. Dude, we are September 1st. Like, we're here. Like, it's crunch time, and we still have a bunch of great races, so the baseball is pretty dang hot in the streets. I was watching that game last night and seeing just, like, how much fun everyone was having, and then I got reminded of, like, the era that I played in. Jake, when I went on this, like, homer chair in 2012, everyone that listens to the show is very well aware of that because I talk about it all the time.
Player of the month, or were you like runner-up player of the month?
I was player of the week, not that year though.
Okay.
I should have been. I was just dropping bombs. Anyways, my thing was this, and I got told to stop doing it. Ready? I would run around the bases after dropping the bat nicely.
Right.
Hitting just absolute tank jobs.
Yeah.
I'm talking, my only thing I would do is the A-Rod where I would take the bat, spin my swing, and then I would go like this.
Right.
I would
We'll
just
toss
it. That was it.
Bat
and
toss.
I was like, so as I was running around third base, I would take my batting gloves off. But not off. I would just unstrap them. I'd come around third base and go like this. Just, a little fired up. I don't even know where it came from. They told me to stop doing it. Can you imagine?
Trev, you were in the wrong generation, man. Your stat page
level's so high.
If you came up now, your stat page would look like Hunter Renfroe. It'd be 30 dongs every year. Man in the hot corner.
Banger defense.
Be talking about what's in your basement. Probably me and BBD. No, man, I know we're not talking about it. And actually, programming alert, we're not doing a Monday episode for Labor Day. We're coming back on Tuesday, and we're all JMing. The
episode might not release till Wednesday, but
maybe there'll be some hints of, I already mentioned Braves-Dodgers. But, man, I mean, dude, Ronald homering, celebrating all the way to first base, and then when he comes up to third base and he slows down and does his thing. The fact that baseball has fought any of that is so dumb. There should have been little kids throughout Minnesota copying your batting glove removal before third base, and I think we've gotten to a better spot. But I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to you for old baseball.
That's okay. I'm over it now. Look at me now. Look at this guy.
Meanwhile, Freddie Freeman being as naturally unsexy as possible with the high pants and being as impressive to me because he's the best hitter I've seen. Meanwhile, Mookie Betts just had one of the best months of baseball we've ever seen, batting right in front of him. So the talent on display last night, the real listeners know how much I love Raisel Iglesias. He comes in, Didn't even look like he had his best stuff, but he dropped down and found like a gross two-seamer when he needed it. We're not even talking about that, Trev. We've got a bunch of other series. There are a lot of like good team, bad team series that I think we're going to go through quick. I think there's a couple bad team series. And, there's still a lot of stuff to hit along the way. We saw the Reds claim some outfielders. We saw the guard dogs come in on some pitchers. Only 5 games back. Let's get into it. And Trev, on Friday we're a National League pod and we're a Rocket Money pod. Trev, I think you can say this honestly, and I think we all kind of can. We like money. Like, it just makes some things easier, and having a little more money helps. And Rocket Money, what they do is they look into your subscriptions. I think, I won't name the chain, I think I was a member of a fitness club chain for like 6 years. They were just charging me $19 a month. And it was like, what the heck? I hadn't gone there since I moved away from Connecticut. Enough about me, enough more about you. Because Rocket Money can find any of these streaming service memberships, fitness programs, and they can find them, get them off, and save you money. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/talkin. rocketmoney.com/talkin. There's a link in the description. Go check it out. What's the worst that happens? You save yourself some money? Doesn't seem like a bad time to me. Rocket Money.
One question for Trev before we go into the NL. In 2014, when you got Player of the Week, you split the AL honors with another player, and that was?
It's my teammate, freak. Why can't I think of his name right now? Danny Santana.
It was Danny Santana. Arenado in the NL. Good slate.
Danny Santana, 2020 season a couple years ago. NL, and then Trev will give you the standings. We changed things. This was maybe the most fun one in the National League. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs. Cubbies in a very interesting spot, and in a more interesting spot since they took 2 out of 3 from the Crew. They dropped the first one. Wade was just being Miley in that game, so was Yelly. But then the Justin Steele show. This guy, man, Cubs win 1-0 in that game. He outduels Corbin Burns, boogity. Final game, Kyle drinks a little Hendrix gin. Ian Happ, double and an RBI. Belly, infield banger of a single, gets them the 3-2 win. Cubbies game a game in the Central. Okay, Adbert Alzolay, yo. Have a year. Yelling on the mound. I like that. This one can be quick. Dodgers sweep the Diamondbacks. They own them, man. It's tough. It was tough to watch. I checked in on that last game. 7-0 Dodgers. I think Merrill Kelly is 0 for 11 lifetime against the Dodgers. Just any stat you can find, the Dodgers dominate the Snakes. I think I looked this one up, and I hope I did the math wrong. I think in the past 4 years, the Dodgers are 46-15 against the Diamondbacks. Snakes get swept. It's tough. Dodgers are so good. This was a fun one. Cincinnati. They played Trev and Gabe's Giants. Giants take 2 out of 3. Those first 2, talk about pitching performances. Kyle Harrison, the young stud, 6.1, 11 punchies. Yo, that kid might be a dude. Watch out for that. Speaking of dudes, backfield Alex Cobb. 1 hitter away from the no-no, but Spencer steers him wrong. 9 innings pitched. 1 hit, throwing bullets. Throw that splitter, kid. Fun to watch. Reds bounce back on the last day. And how about this little fun fact? Local kid, CES, Christian Encarnacion Strand, grew up in the Bay Area. A little 4-hit day for him as the Reds try to salvage that series. God, I like watching Doval pitch. Padres Cardinals. Ew. this was supposed to be an exciting series at the beginning of the year. Snellagram, 7 innings, 0 earned run as he continues to pursue that potential Cy Young in the first game. But in classic Padres fashion, that's the only game they win. Wilson Contreras, 2-homer day in front of his parents. We love that. Tommy Edman with the walk-off in extras. And the Padres are now 0 for 11 in extra innings this season. How many players would they have snagged if that was 5 and 6? Anyways, Michaelis and the boys get it done on the last day. Padres sad. St. Louis sad too. But Jordan Walker had a big day. Mason Wynn, the shortstop. So, hey, maybe there's some future. And GTBT, Braves sweep the Colorado Rockies. They even call up Darius Vines. Hey, make your debut at Coors, kid. And I think he's one of Ollie's guys, Trev. Yes. He goes 6 inning, 1 earned. Sure. 2 earned. Welcome to the show, kid. And then, yeah, you know Ronnie. You know Sean, Austin, Orlando. Michael Harris, too, jumped up in the lineup. Watch out for him. Braves are a wagon. Rockies, please trade Ryan McMahon to my Yanks. And that's what happened in the National League.
Good job, Poppy.
You got those standings, Trev?
And now for the standings of the National League. In the East, Atlanta's running away with Phoenix. They have 88 wins. They're 88-45. Behind them, the Phillies, 74-59. They're 14 games behind. 67-67 are the Miami Marlins. The Nationals, 62-73. The Mets, 61-73. They're only 27.5 games back. It's a shame they have a chance. In the Central, Cubbies making things interesting. Milwaukee, 74-59. They have the lead over the Cubs, who are 71-62. They're 3 games back. Remember, those two teams meet at the very end of the season in a 3-game set. We're going to talk more about that series coming up here. Cincinnati is 69-66. They're 6 games back of the division. Pittsburgh and St. Louis on the bottom. The Dodgers are 83-50. Are they going to make a run for the best record in the National League? They won. What did they go this month? 20. Yeah. In August, they went 24-4, I believe the number was.
Undefeated.
Holy shnikes. The Giants, 70-64. They're 13.5 games back of the Dodgers. Arizona, 69-65. And then the Padres and the Rockies behind them in the wild card, which is what you guys all want to hear. Right now, it is the Phillies leading the way. They are 4.5 games up on the Cubs, who are 1.5 games up on the Giants, who own the last wild card spot. They're 70-64. Behind them, Arizona's 1 game back. Cincinnati's 1.5 games back. And Miami, after getting swept by the Rays in a 2-game set, like I said, 67-67. They're 3 games back of the wild card. We declared the Padres dead. They are dead. It's 8.5 back for them.
Trev, thank you for the standings. Yeah, Padres are so dead. Same record as the Nats. Mets half game back. Let's go to, I think, the number one series that mattered, and this is going to be a little bit of a Cubby episode for me. I got something fun at the end that our guy Dalton found. Brewers win that first game. I mentioned Miley, Yelly, Cubs, man. Burns and Steele. Like, those names sound like NL Central baseball. Towing it up in a 1-0 game. How good is your good? It's really good. And then, yeah, I mentioned they win that final game. Belly, a little ricochet infield single to get it done. They pull within 3 games of the Brewers. Month to play. Okay. That's pretty real. And, man, I don't know. It's one of those things. Now that we're at this point of the season, if you look at the standings real wide, like if I just bring up regular season standings and you get the run differentials and stuff, a lot of stuff makes sense, right? Like pretty much everything is sorted. There's not a ton of outliers right now. Like in theory, the Padres are a little bit of an outlier. Rays fans could probably make an argument that they could jump the Orioles, and maybe they will. They're a game and a half back. But everything is sort of into place. The one thing when you do bring it up that feels like a slight outlier from run differential is the Brewers over the Cubs. I mean, the Brewers have a solid plus 21, and they're positioned well. And, Brewers baseball, good pitching, defense, get the big hit when you need it, blah, blah, blah. The Cubs with that plus 77 feels a little different. That, I don't know. I guess in this series, what are you seeing, Trev? And where do you stand with these two teams? Because they're the central race the rest of the way, unless Cincy finds something, and they just found two outfielders, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think these two teams match up well against each other, and you saw that in this series. They played some tight games. There are some really good pitching matchups. Neither team has a great offense, but they do have players that can really produce and guys that they can carry an offense from time to time. I think they're very similar in those ways. They both play defense. Like, they match up well. And again, we're going to see the last 3 games of the season possibly determine the winner of the NL Central, which is awesome. In the series, there's just some funny stuff going on, to be honest with you. Ellie homers in the first bat of the series. He gets a 2-0 pitch, goes oppo in that first game, and then Canna hits a homer, and they kind of get out to a lead. And Wade Miley, who's been pretty damn good for them all year long, does his thing. Our guy Tyone gets touched up a little bit with the homers, but the Brew Crew kind of, again, if they score, I think the last episode I mentioned, if they score 5 runs or more, I'd like to see their record. I really meant 4 runs because, if you score 5 runs in the game, you should win that game. Statistically speaking, but 4 runs for the Brewers, I'd like to see that record as well, because I feel like it would still be very good. And then in the second game, 2 horses going at it, Burns versus Steele. Steele, he's the wet hair,
giving me kind of Lester vibes. Is that unfair?
It's like Lester and Arrieta together.
Ooh, too sexy.
Yeah, I think he's a little sexier than Lester. That's why I gave him the Arrieta.
Oh, you gave him the Arrieta boost.
Yeah, Jake Arrieta, nice body, and he works really hard at it. In that game, the only scoring was a belly RBI ground out. There was a double play and line drive that Monasterio made. Corbin Burns, I believe it was the bases loaded. So Cubs, hit a line drive in that situation, get doubled off the third. They could score more runs there. But in a matchup like this, where runs are at a premium, Belly does his job and they win the second game. 7 innings pitched by Burns. You get the L. Sorry. You get 1 run. And in that last game, the go-ahead RBI was a kind of a lucky knock for Belly, because I believe it was 2 outs first and third, and that ground ball, if it gets past the pitcher, there's the shortstop, I think it was Adonis, was just up the middle, ready to step on second base. Instead, it hits off the pitcher, and now we score the go-ahead run. And, that's why this matchup is so good, because it's just something like that. A misplaced ground ball that hits off the pitch instead of going to where it's supposed to go wins you the game. I really, really hope that this series at the end of the year, I really hope it's like Brewers up by a game or even 2 games or vice versa. I just want that last series to determine the outcome of the Central, because I think it'd be, obviously that's Central play baseball.
If these teams played each other 100 times, you'd have a hard time convincing me that one of the teams would win 55 of the games. I think they really do line up pretty evenly. I do think the Cubs would have an argument to win that 100-game set. That'll never happen. Justin Steele, man, I almost feel bad, and Cubs fans, I'll give you all the love. Now the past 2 years, 49 starts. a 2.91. And we I remember all JM earlier this year, like him, Gallen, maybe Kershaw, they all had the same stats, kind of. But if we really did a true blind resume, like Steele may have had the best argument. But in baseball, we lean on what we know because a lot of guys come and go in this sport. He's been incredible. He now leads the NL in ERA plus and home runs allowed per 9. 15-3 with a 2.69.
Legit.
That's not guy stuff. That's dude stuff. Excited for that matchup later in the year. And like I said, Alzolay, he has been awesome for them. I think he's 23 for his last 24 save ops. That helps too. And yeah, I think almost any time these teams play, it's going to come down to one or two. And like you mentioned, that belly ball, that was the difference this time.
So I'm just reading because I'm questioning whether Stroman was going to be back this year or not. And he's throwing long toss. So we got 30 days to get him back. I don't know if that's possible. Kind of looking to see if they don't have a time frame on him because he has to ramp up to getting on the mound and stuff. But that'd be something.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That feels tight. Like we're doing long toss. We got a month to go. Either way, we're probably doing a 3-game wild card. So I don't know. You start doing the time on that. Be a hell of a story.
The rib cage cartilage. That's not easy. You just have to let that heal.
Rib cage cartilage.
You just can't do anything for a ribs. You literally have to just rest and not do anything, which is brutal.
Maybe just call up PCA and win the whole damn thing, or
we're recording early, obviously, on September 1st. The minor league seasons are still going, so a lot of teams will make the kids finish the minor league season before they call them up. We might get an influx of guys today. I know the Yankees are doing that. A bunch of teams are bringing guys up, but I guess there's only 2, right? I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, right. We've done the same thing.
Used to be fucking
right.
15 guys up.
Man, that's got to be. There's got to be some good clips we could make some kids laugh at where there's literally 100 people in the dugout.
That was a problem, dude.
Yeah.
Like we'd bring so many people up. Wouldn't even be a locker space in the dugout. The veterans were pissed because they have nowhere to sit.
Credit to the Rays. I think they are the team that fully took it too far. That everyone was like, "No way, we're playing 3 teams."
Yeah. Why wouldn't you call them up?
Yeah. Some teams wouldn't too. That's the crazy part.
Wouldn't use the spots.
Back in my day, we called everybody up.
Yeah, sharing a locker with some slap dick. Trev, Dodgers Snakes. I unfortunately really do think this is quick. You were twisting the knife pre-show a little bit, and the knife had already been twisted, man. So Dalton, who does our stat page, full-blown Snakes fan.
I'm beefing with Dalton.
I know you are. Full-blown Snakes fan. And I talked to him Wednesday morning, and he was broken. And I was like, man, I might watch some Snakes Dodgers tonight. And he was just sad. And Dalton's not that guy. He's jovial, as happy as can be almost. And then I watched and I realized, because when a team owns another team, it's a really good feeling to be on the ownership side. You got Max Muncy standing at second base, basically doing like Randy Arozarena stuff. Like, when you own a team like that, you just act differently. You do. And I felt bad for the baby Snakes, man, because that big brother gave them the business yet again, and it's just a different talent level. And to not be fully shots fired at the Snakes, the Dodgers are a different talent level than basically 25 other teams.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the starting pitching lines for the Diamondbacks. Pitchers who are great. Zach Gallen, 5 1/3, 6 earnings.
Yeah.
Merrill Kelly, 5 innings pitched, 7 earnings. Like, this is a Dodgers lineup that can do a lot of different things. Yeah, they can hit homers, but they can steal bags, and Freddie will just he'll bat you to death. He will not give away at bats. He has 50 plus doubles already. He just works you. I think that's the biggest thing that when I went to one of these games. I went to the Wednesday game. But when you watch the Dodgers or any really good team, they just don't give away at bats. And they make pitchers work like constantly. Like there's not, if you look at their lineup, sometimes you could say, oh man, there's some outs at the bottom. But even the guys at the bottom of the lineup will work at bats. And there's like no time for a pitcher just to breeze through things. Especially when they're running the way they're running right now. Like it's kind of a relentless feeling. So I agree. I think the talent level is a little bit different here. I went to the game on Wednesday. I don't think we have to talk about a lot of the stuff. I mean, the Dodgers banged the ball. The Diamondbacks scored 5 runs in 3 games. I'm not going to get it done against the Dodgers. I went to El Salvadoran night, which was awesome.
Wow.
So that was Wednesday night. A lot of fun. Showed up pregame. Wanted to meet up with Longo. Got to say hi. Got to pick with Longo. Up there, chatted a little bit. He's the best.
That was right after I DM'd you his IG story because it was so why you love Longo. Like Longo just randomly on his IG story was just like, you got good couple good friends and good family, life's pretty fucking good. It's like, okay, dude, you're a Hall of Famer.
I think he is a Hall of Famer too.
I know.
We're looking at that. His numbers. He's got 60-something career WAR already. I mean, I think he's got like 280-something homers, or maybe even 300 homers. I don't know what it is. It's a lot.
It's good.
Anyway, it's got to see him. When Tommy Pham was just like right in front of me. Like I didn't like go out of my way to say hi to Tommy Pham. I just like walked. I have my media pass. I walk, towards their dugout, and here he is, just right there. He looks at me. So I'm like, I got to say hi. Just like make eye contact with somebody, especially like a peer. Shook his hand. I said, "Hey, Tommy, how you doing?" And I think I said, Trevor Plouffe. I'm in street clothes, bro. I'm in street clothes. I'm a civilian. He just like dead faced me, like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And like he had no idea who the fuck it was. No idea. But I did look him right in the freaking eye.
Good.
Which is more than you would have done.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Tommy Pham, I do some baseball content.
342 homers, thank you, Beavers, for long. I mean, this guy's a Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. Go look at his baseball reference page, people, and if you think differently. What else was I going to say about this game? I had something that I want. Oh, it has nothing to do with the game, but my friend who I went to the game with, we played this poker tournament in the off season, and it's like a bunch of old time baseball players, and the guys that play poker tournament, you wear your jersey, and then if the people knock you out of the tournament, you have to take the jersey off your back. So my buddy Chan Park was there. So Chan Ho Park jersey on. He wore it to the Dodger game. He got Bobby Miller to sign his Chan Ho Park jersey. It's got to be a 1 of 1. Chan Ho Park signed a little message to Paul, and then he gets Bobby Miller to sign it as well. So I just thought that's got to be the most hilarious jersey autograph combination ever. Chan Ho Park and Bobby freaking Miller, who, by the way, probably have a lot more in common than I give credit to. Chan Ho Park's a dog.
The last Dodgers ace to the next Dodgers ace. All right, we just kind of fixed Trev's mic a little bit. You might have heard it fast forwarding a little bit. I think we're good now. Extra crispy, and I think it's time to talk some Giants Reds, Trev, because 2 very impressive pitching performances in San Francisco. Watched, I guess the biggest perk of my Yank sucking is I'm looking to watch good baseball everywhere. And so I got to watch Alex Cobb, his 2-seamer and splitter, how they play off each other is awesome. I unfortunately didn't get to watch young stud Kyle Harrison in his 6.1 and 11 Ks, but Giants get 2 out of 3 in San Francisco. I always love watching Duvall throw it. And I guess the bigger story on the Red side is they're the team that one of the 2 teams that steps up in this weird second free agency. They add Bader and Renfroe to their outfield depth chart. Good on you, Cincy. I doubted you. Now the next step is to win some games, but what do you have on either of those?
I mean, you mentioned it, the first 2 games were Kyle Harrison and Alex Cobb. I mean, they were Kyle Harrison making a second start. He's in his home ballpark, grew up 30 minutes away. So he had all his family there, and he was just nasty, dude. Like, this is exactly what the Giants needed at this point in the season. This guy's legit. Like, sometimes when I look at players, you can kind of just tell, like this guy is a big leaguer and is going to be at worst serviceable in the big leagues. And at best, this guy could be an all-star. Like, he has the stuff. Like, he's got that. Like, I watched him throw, and he's got electric stuff. He's throwing 95, 96 from the left side, and he's striking guys out. I think he struck out 11 people in this game. He's also got a little timing mechanism that can mess with your timing with the leg lift. I saw him do it a couple different times. I don't know if it's intentional or if it's just like he just kind of does it sometimes, but it looks like you can skip a beat a little bit sometimes at the plate and get your timing messed up against him. That's not good for a hitter, especially when the guy has stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, the first 2 games, like Kyle Harrison, again, like they needed that in the worst way. Now you got your guys, Webb, Cobb, Harrison, Junis has been pretty good for them. Like, so now we got 4 starters and we can figure some things out going forward. And I think they're in a really good spot going forward. In the second game, Cobb, I mean, shoot, what can you say? Takes a freaking no-no all the way into the 9th with 2 outs. And the only base runner before that was a Casey Schmidt throwing error. So I thought there might be some walks. I was actually at my fantasy football draft, and Chris Rose was with me, and we ended up watching the last inning on his phone. And then, it sucks anytime you give up a no-hitter late in the game, but with 2 outs in the 9th, that really hurts a little bit. A lot of people are saying Luis Matos should have dove for that ball into right center, but I don't know, man. That he had to take a perfect route, and
ball was
the
hit
perfect
pretty
dive
good,
and everything.
You know, like
I do want to see a dive. I think
everyone does.
If you play outfield, sometimes your body's not in the fucking position to dive. That's what I have on that play right there. But anyways, I mean, Alex Cobb with an incredible performance, and I wasn't sure that Gabe was going to let him go because I believe he had like 97 pitches after the 7th inning, and then he had a quick 8th, and then the 9th 1 pitch, 1 out, and I was okay, this is it. He's going to get it done. He didn't, but it's okay.
It's tough. We all turn into sports fan suckers in that moment. It would have been awesome to see Matos go lawn sail and dive full out and his glove and hat go flying. But like, I don't know. I don't know if he was getting to that ball. Like that was caught pretty good. Really good performances all around there. And the Reds, they drop a series. I don't know. You're on the road to San Francisco, sure. They take headlines for other reasons. They add Renfroe and Bader, and I'm giving them a little credit. The Guardians ended up being the wild card team we thought they might be, and snagged all the pitching they could. And I don't know, half credit to them. Like I guess you get some essentially free pitching to get you there. 5 games back.
Trust me, I know. It's not going to happen, but it's annoying that the Twins can't put the division away. But go on.
But Cincinnati, I think outside of this series is more so the story. Renfroe should slot in to be a starting corner outfielder for them. And Bader, platoon versus lefty, defensive replacement. I assume that'll be his role the rest of the way. And in those 2 roles, he's really good. So I guess good on the Reds there.
I thought I saw something. Lodolo is out now. Won't pitch again this season. Him and Hunter Green before the year, we had marked them as like, hey, this could be the surprise 1-2 punch in the big leagues, bro. Like what we saw them do at the end of last year, it hasn't really done that or hasn't really played out that way, excuse me. Although Hunter had a nice game here against the Giants, 5 1/3, 1 run, but it wasn't earned. And actually, the first pitch that he threw, TJ Friedel, is it Friedel or Friedel?
I think Friedel.
Yeah, Friedel made this incredible diving catch. First pitch.
Friedel's a dog, dude. Friedel's a dog.
If he doesn't get to that ball, I think it rolls into that like triples corner out there, and I think it might have been an inside the park home run. But instead, it's an out, and Hunter Green does it. There's another really good play I had marked down. Oh, yeah, there was a double steal that the Reds had, first and third. I don't know if it was Estrada or DeYoung just pulled the throw. Could have had him out at home, and that was the first run, and that's all that Hunter needed.
Trev, final two are Padres, Cardinals, Braves, Rockies. Bad team, good team, bad team. I kind of hit my stuff on the way through.
I'm good on them, dude. I think a lot of people in the industry watch our show because I watched Mark DeRosa talk about them being dead and all these things about the Padres. So shout out everyone watching our show.
If you smushed you and me together, I think it turns out kind of like Mark DeRosa.
I like Mark DeRosa. I'm not trying to throw shade at him at all. I think he's actually really
You've
impressive.
got the size. I've kind of got the baby face Italian thing going on.
He's got some pipes on him. I just noticed that today.
It's big. I definitely had a moment. I saw him on TV the other day, and I was like, whoa, like there's some people watching this show are liking Mark DeRosa.
When I found out he was an Ivy Leaguer, kind of like me, my respect went through the roof.
All right.
He doesn't seem like an Ivy Leaguer, right?
Let's do the American League. It's brought to you by Manscaped. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. I want to tout. I bet Mark takes care of it down there.
Of course he does.
And he takes care of it up there. He's an Ivy Leaguer. And Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, changed the game with their Beard Hedger Pro Kit, and now they're going a step further with their brand new Handyman electric face shaver for a quick and convenient way to achieve a clean-shaven look. That's kind of my game. You know, these guys toil around with their beards. I go clean. Felt good this morning going clean. Going clear. Whoops. People, you'll get 20% off and free shipping with code TALKIN at manscaped.com. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Fellas, code TALKIN. Take care of yourself. Ladies, if you got a man in your life, that's a good sneaky, hey, here you go, because they're going to use it, and maybe they tighten it up a little bit for you.
Gift for them, gift for you.
Gift. Let's do some ale. Trevor, the New York Yankees are back. They win their first series in a month as they take down the Detroit Tigers. 4-1, 4-2, 6-2. That third game was a Cole game. Didn't have his best start. Still goes 6-2. Sevy has a nice start. Gleyber Torres is actually hitting in hot. Anthony Volpe tries to save the last game at the buzzer. 3-run homer to tie it. Yankees literally throw it away in extras as Tigers get that final game. These two teams don't do much for me, although the Yanks are calling up a ton of kids, and that's honestly exciting. It doesn't happen a lot in Yankee land, so that's fun. This had some implications. The Astros swept the Red Sox in the Commonwealth. 13-5. Jose Altuve cycles. Yordan has a 4-hit day. The next day, Breggy, he goes over the monster. A familiar feeling. A third baseman going over the monster. I know a guy like that. And then they bring out the broomsticks. Michael Brantley. Hello, old friend. He's back for Houston. What does that mean? Houston sweeps Boston. Boston, this is one of the teams they're chasing in the wild card technically. That's tough. Making the mountain a little bigger to climb. Guardians take 2 out of 3 from the Twins. Twins won that first game Maeda gets knocked around, but doesn't matter because Royce Lewis, there's your righty pop. But then they lose the next two. Are they tanking to get in the Giolito sweepstakes that never happened? Instead, Cleveland takes it? Was it a blocking move by Cleveland? I'll tell you what, Cole Calhoun, he is just raking. He has another home run in the final game. Bo Naylor, Jose Ramirez, and Steven Kwan in the second. Guardians take 2 out of 3. You might have heard they're 5 games back by now. Orioles take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Orioles put up 9 spots in those first 2 while shutting them out in the first game. Anthony Santander, he can't stop. He can't stop right now. 2 hits in each of these games, couple RBI, 4 RBI in the second. White Sox, they salvaged the last one. That Andrew Vaughn is one fine piece of ace. Eloy, 4 hits. Lou Bob, 35th homer on the year. White Sox promote from within, because why wouldn't you? Mariners take 2 out of 3 from the Athletics. Good team, bad team. Although a little bit of a knee buckler in the final one. Mariners are down. J.P. Crawford, 2 RBI single to take the lead. Julio got banged up. I think Ty France got banged up. We hate that. They still take care of their business. A lot of those Mariner stats are really impressive. And Trevor May with the save, and he got a save 16 years ago in the same stadium or some shit like that. And we just like Trevor May. That's what happened in American League Baseball. T2 gets the save.
What were you saying about, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to do the standings now, if that's okay with you. In the American League, in the AL East, Baltimore still on top of the division, 83-50. Tampa Bay right behind them, 1.5 games back. They're 82-52. The Blue Jays, the BJs, 73-61. Boston, after a sweep at the hands of the Astros, 69-65. Reverse that, flip it, 65-69 for those bottom dwelling Yankees.
There we go.
In the cellar. Gross. In the Central, my Twins never would be there. Never would be on the bottom. They're on top of the division, 69-65. Cleveland, like you mentioned, 5 games back at 64-70. Go away, Cleveland. 60-74 for the Tigers. We're actually going to hear a little bit more about them later in the show. White Sox, Royals. Ugh. In the West, we got 2 teams tied at the top of the division. Seattle, 76-57. Houston, 77-58. They're tied. Texas, 1 game behind them at 75-58. Angels, Oakland, gross. That division is going to be something. In the wild card, Tampa Bay has the first wild card. They're 6.5 games up on Texas. What am I reading wrong here? Oh, yeah. And then it's one of Houston or Seattle is in the second spot as well. So technically there's only 2 wild card teams now because there's 2 teams tied at the top of the AL West. Tampa Bay has that first one kind of locked up. Then it's going to be Seattle or Houston and then Texas. On the outside looking in for the wild card, there's 2 teams in the AL. Toronto is 2.5 games back of a playoff spot. It's their only chance at the playoffs. I mean, add them into the mix of teams that what? Padres, Cardinals, Blue Jays. Let's go. And then the Red Sox, 6.5 games back. Their season might have ended at the hands of the Astros. And guess what? You ain't the first team. Yeah. The Astros have ended their season. And that's the standings in the American League.
Beauty, Trev. Yeah, that L4 for Boston is at a bad time. They get a little Kansas City, so maybe they can quick flip that. But, man, Tampa, Houston, Texas is wildcard teams right now. And you're right, Trev. At the end of this year, unless Toronto kicks in to a new gear, that mighty AL East might have to talk a little bit about that mighty AL West, man.
It's the AL Beast.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh, you guys were so annoying with that.
Speaking of the hot Yankees, do you want anything here? Like, I got to be honest. If I do it for other teams, these are 2 not good teams.
Yeah. I'm gonna be talking about a specific Tiger later on in the series. I don't really have anything. Shout out Clark Schmidt, who continues to wear our Harrison Bader T-shirt as he leaves the organization.
Tough.
Might need to make a new Harrison Bader T-shirt.
I think we
We
are.
have a Clark Schmidt one.
I think we're working on it.
We might need to make a new one. Zach Short.
Hot.
He had a homer off of Clark Schmidt.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. I had some other stuff. Volpe, awesome 2020 club. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what your other numbers are. 20 homers, 20 stolen bases, legit.
It's
As a
hard
rookie,
to do.
It's legit. How's the defense been?
It's been
Good.
solid. He had a really good August. OPS in the mid 8s. Like, he kind of needed that. And the Yankees are calling up other kids. The Martian is in Houston against Verlander tonight. Yankee fans are excited to watch some kids play in September, but that's about it.
I mean, Jason Dominguez coming up. I know there's some other guys. You mentioned Austin Wells, whatever, but Jason Dominguez, we've heard about him for so long. There was so much hype. I feel like some of that has calmed a little bit. I don't think by anything that he's done. I'm curious. I can't wait to see him.
Yeah.
In a real Yankees uniform, those big old tree trunks.
Yeah. So, kind of a short, thick king. I don't know. It's going to be a funky September in the Bronx.
One more thing for the Tigers. I wanted to mention Torkelson in a little mini slump. Remember, he was feeling it.
Yeah.
Hitting those homers, pimping everything. I was really hoping he'd just like kind of ride off into the offseason on that stretch. Since August 22nd, he's been in a pretty bad slump. I think he's hitting 0.96 since then. But this is like, if I'm a Tigers fan, I watch now. Okay, we've had two series of bad swings from Torkelson. How fast can you get out of it? How fast can you get back to knocking the ball around? That's going to tell you about a player.
Yeah.
And can he be a consistent threat? The overall numbers for Torkelson this year, 102 OPS plus, 750-ish OPS, like they're getting okay. That's not, he needs to be better than that, especially for like, what he brings defensively. So if I'm a Tigers fan, watch that. Can he make an adjustment and finish the year strong?
He pimped one off Cole that next time you need a little extra testosterone. I know you like the way he does that. Yeah, I mean, he obliterated it. And he
in the midst of a slump. Attaboy.
Yeah. Okay. Trev, I think the AL series that meant the most, Astros, Red Sox. If the Red Sox, if this is reversed and the Red Sox swept, I think they'd be a half game out of the playoffs, and we'd be talking Cora, that dirty water, and this team bangs. Astros give him the business a little bit. I'm going to be talking about that Altuve guy coming up. Jordan 4 for 4. Man, I couldn't believe Michael Brantley back in the game.
He's back. The first game, Chris Sale actually did pretty well against their lineup. What's his? Yeah, he goes 4 2/3, 3 earned runs. Like, this is a very tough lineup. I thought he looked okay. Then the Astros piled it on after the 5th. You're going to talk about Altuve. Even Jose Abreu got in on the fun, which, like, I know I said this a lot this season. If he gets it going, look out. I don't know if he's going to get it going.
It's talented baseball players. Go back to those 21 Braves. Like, Jorge Soler was awful with Kansas City. He came to the Braves. He got some juice. If Jose Abreu gets a hit in his first postseason at bat, like, he could win CS MVP. Like, that's who he is.
I think he's kind of splitting time with Singleton now. Is that what's going on?
Sure.
I'm not sure, actually. I don't know if Singleton's playing the field. I have to look that up. One thing from the first game that I think is of note is this is the second time now that Urquidy's come out of the bullpen, and I think they're trying to figure out, they have 6 starters. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do as they maybe go back to a 5-man rotation. He could be the long guy or piggyback with Javier. I don't know what they're going to do, but he came out of the bullpen that game. Game 2, a little bit closer, but Breggy and Jordan back-to-back homers just to get the day started. Let me tell you something about back-to-back homers. They're demoralizing. They make a team, you feel like you're a little bit beat when you give up back-to-back homers. Like, dang, bro, like, can you figure it out? That's the 13th time that they've done that. this year, the Astros. One behind. Can you name the team that's done it the most?
Braves.
I was going to say, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
14 times the Braves have done it. And then game 3, I know Cutter Crawford's line doesn't look great. 2 2/3 innings, and he's going up against Framber, who retired the first 10 batters I think he faced. A lot of soft contact, though, against Cutter Crawford in that one. So kind of stinks, but that's the Astros putting the ball in play, doing their thing. You mentioned Brantley. He comes back in this game and does his thing. But, yeah, this was a clinic put on by the Astros. I mean, they played small ball. They hit homers. Like, they can just – Ryan Presley, I think after – Rosie mentioned this to me when we were covering them the other day. He said Presley was just feeling it after the game, saying, like, we're here. Like, this is who we are. Like, we expect to be in the World Series, essentially.
Yeah, it's almost like Texas never woke them up, but like the Mariners getting hot, like gave them a little like, okay, like let's do this thing. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10 road series. I think your guy Presley, I think he's got like the top 50 curveball spin rate pitches this year. Just over the top bangers from him. That stat was totally wrong, but gets the point across. And hey, Red Sox fans, I think you guys might end up in the mud with us Yankees fans again. They do call up Ceddanne Rafaela, a big outfield prospect for them, and he puts together a couple of Bs. So if this is the end, or hey, maybe they got some fight left, if you want to believe in the Red Sox making the playoffs, it's got to be above Toronto and an AL West team, which it's a tough prop. I don't know. That kid seems like part of the plan. I think he's a short king too, so interested in that.
Okay, we love our short kings here.
Preach.
Trev,
did you just look at the next series?
On the slate.
You walk me through it, Pop. Guardians take 2-3 from the Twins.
I mean, the first game, great. Royce Lewis saves the day. Hits his second grand slam in as many days. I was going to do an award on, these Twins rookies that have come up because I know I'm a Twins guy. Look behind me. People forget 96 career home runs at Target Field. No big deal. I think I'm either first or second all time, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, people. I'm not going to give them the award today. I have a different one that I'm going to give out. But look, when the Twins offense can hit with runners in scoring position, they're a pretty good team. When they don't hit with runners in scoring position, they're not a good team. I feel like you can say that about a lot of teams.
Can I put that in my analytics binder?
Jakey Lytics right there. Yeah. Hit with runners in scoring position. Man, I just saw Billy Ripken say some stuff that was so out of pocket. I come out here in the mornings and I turn on MLB Network because they're going through, I don't know what the show is called, but it's like Mark DeRosa, Lauren Shahadi, and they go over some of the series. Shout out Mark DeRosa. A lot of Mark DeRosa talk on this one. I think you and Mark,
we make a night out of it.
We would go out in New York, slam some beers. He'd take us to some fucking place you got to like knock on the door and leave a vial of blood.
Oh, you think he knows the spots?
Yeah, he knows the spots.
I think so too.
He was talking about, because we're talking about analytics here. They're talking about the Yankees and how they're going to change up how they approach analytics. And God, some of the stuff he was saying was so funny. He doesn't want any minor league coaches. I want less coaches. I'm like, I don't think that's the answer, Billy.
Let the kids run.
Yeah, they're like, look at the Dodgers. They have a coach for like every 3 players, and they have the best development in all of baseball. Anyways, this series, look, this is the Twins they needed to win this series. They needed to shut the freaking door on the division. They're still up 5 games with 26-7 games to play. The division is very much still theirs, although they do play the Guardians again starting on Monday. I will be doing the game, so that's going to be another interesting. Like if the freaking Guardians sweep that series, we're talking about a 2-game lead, and then it's all hell could break loose. So this is like the Twins need to close the division out. They're a better team, and the Guardians essentially punted on the season. Now they pick up these guys. And I don't think it was even because they think they can win the division, or they really even, I mean, they do want to win the division. I'm not obviously saying they just don't want to, but they're not actively trying. They pick up these guys because they need pitching.
Yeah.
They need people to eat the innings. And they're like, we'll get these guys. And hey, guess what? If we go on a run, maybe we'll sneak in and win the freaking division. And I will be, oh my gosh, dude. I'll be beside myself if it happens. And now I'm not saying I'm rooting for it, but it would be chaos. A team that punts at the trade deadline, gives the Twins the division, and then they still win the division. It would be insane.
A massive homestand coming up for Cleveland. They welcome Tampa for 3, survive. If you take 2 somehow, then they play Minnesota at home for 3.
The Twins are playing the Rangers this weekend.
Trevor,
I'm telling you, bro. Don't tell me. I'm telling you. Sheesh, Bo Naylor, keep hitting homers, big fella. Cole Calhoun.
If you didn't know, we've alluded to it a couple times. Giolito went to Cleveland. He'll be pitching Sunday, it looks like, against Tampa. And they also claimed Reynaldo Lopez and Matt Moore. So, like, dude, if the Guardians get within 3 games, Trev, I'm very scared for the Twins.
It could happen this weekend.
I know. With a month to play, Tito Francona?
I'm not, like, the Twins.
Chris Rose?
They're a better team than the Guardians. They just are. Okay, but you got to play the game. You got to win the games. And I mentioned a lot of the offense is coming from rookies. I think these guys are very special. I think they could do a lot of good things, but you never know. If Royce Lewis, Eddie Julian, and Matt Wallner go cold, boy, that's bad. So this, you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, that last game, Twins had it won. It's 2-1. They got Duran on the mound. 2-2 count, 2 outs, and he freaking just zoos a curveball, throws it behind the batter, behind the left-handed batter, zoos a curveball. They tie the game. Cole Calhoun comes in, hits a 3-run bomb in extras. Bam, game over. Like, that's tough. But again, credit where credit is due. Guardians staying in it. They want me to be wrong so badly.
I don't know what's going to happen. I cannot wait for the next Guardians-Twins series, and I can't believe I'm saying that sentence. I love team strengths. Cleveland might have just stumbled into pig shit. Let me just name you guys in their bullpen. Class A, Stefan. Henches has been incredible. De Los Santos is dudeish. Karinchak comes and goes. Sandlin's been there. Eli Morgan's been there. Reynaldo Lopez and Matt Moore. That's 9 pen guys, dude. If they start finding a formula where Cleveland's up in games after 5 innings,
Jose Ramirez goes on a heater. All they need to score. This team needs to score, 3 or 4 runs. It's the same.
Swole Calhoun becoming a
I don't want to tell. I can't.
Cleveland legend. Trev, the final 2. Again, same situation. If you want something, I'll let you have it. Orioles take 2 of 3 from the White Sox. Seattle takes 2 of 3 from Oakland.
You're going to hear about one of the Orioles pitchers coming up. I think that we can kind of breeze through these as, yes, good team takes series from bad team. Baltimore holding on to that division lead. They're doing everything possible. The Rays are just kind of breathing down their neck. Seattle's going off. They're playing very well. They're wearing Adidas jumpsuits, getting Rev Run to shout them out. As they have, the Adidas tracksuits on, so they're having fun. They got Scott Servais in the freaking tracksuit, which is hilarious.
Picture of Scott Servais.
He probably knows more Run DMC than any of the guys in the clubhouse.
That's a great point, Trev. That's a great point. BBD, do you think you can find the Scott Servais pick? I know
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, it's
I'm
great.
looking
He looks.
If we could get it on
he
the
looks
screen,
good
it's
in it.
screen-worthy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a just still image of it real quick. I think I have it.
It's screen-worthy. Let's I'll I mean, if that doesn't do something for you, and something, I'm gonna get hot. Like I'm trying to keep the series tight. I'm gonna get hot for a second, dude. That matters. That matters. Scott Servais being that dude in front of all those kids, that matters. Alex Cobb. I'll taste your guy Gabe real quick, because Gabe is a interesting guy. After the Alex Cobb almost no-hitter, fucking everyone on the team, on the field, hugged Alex Cobb. When they were doing handshake lines, not just a dap, good game. They gave him a hug, man. Stuff like that matters in life, in sports, in everything. And, I don't know. I believe in that.
It's the one thing managers can control. How do you manage your personalities? What kind of vibe do you help create in your clubhouse? Scott Servais understands that you don't got to do this stuff all the time, but you got to break up the monotony a little bit. You got to have a little bit of fun through 162. And, a lot of teams do stuff like this. The Phillies were wearing overalls, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Topper creates a really good vibe in there. They have a great clubhouse. I mean, I believe in my Phillies pick to win the World Series. I really do. Problem is the Dodgers and Braves exist.
Baseball happens, man.
Well, let's talk about them a little bit, because they kick off the IL.
Shout out Lawrence Butler. My God.
Sure.
Hitting some bombs.
Shout out Interleague. Those Phillies, Trev just mentioned, took 2 out of 3 from the Halos. A weird week for the Angels. Your last Giolito start. Trey Turner has gone completely bonkers. And we love that for Trey Turner. The final game that the Halos end up winning, one of the best back and forth games this year. Harper gets home run 300 to take the lead. Trey Turner hits a 3-run bomb to take the lead. And these Halos that are swimming through the waiver wire, they answer every time and they win it 10-8. Quite the scene. Brandon Drury and Fuego. Castellanos with another awesome post game. He's just the man. Nolan Schanuel. He's still hitting in a rookie. Rangers take 2 out of 3 from the New York Mets. They win the first 2, a pair of 1-run games. Mitch Garver be hitting. Corey Seager be hitting. In that final game, it's the beauty of baseball. The DJ Stewart show. 2 homers for TJ Stewart. An amazing catch in the outfield, and the walk-off RBI hit by pitch. I mean, what a script. You couldn't write it if you wanted to. A fun day for the Mets when they haven't had as many fun days recently. Blue Jays, they win 2 out of 3 against the Nationals, which I won't good team, bad team you here. The Nationals have been playing a good brand of baseball. The Blue Jays get it done after splitting the first 2. Danny Jansen with a big day. That kid Davis Schneider continues to hit. Carter Kieboom, how's your prospect resurgence? Good for him. My signing of the offseason, Chris Bassett, 8-inning shut on the last day to win the series. That's what he can do, and that's what he's been doing. Pirates sweep Kansas City, and in Kansas City, it's tough. Johan Oviedo, 9 innings, complete game shutout. Key Brian Hayes, your guy, has been going, Trev, so we love that for Pittsburgh. A couple big days at the office. Brian Reynolds has one too. Does a little gritty in the dugout, but it almost wasn't. It was almost the anti-gritty. And then the final IL series. It's 2 games. It's the Florida Bowl. It's Rays and Marlins. Rays blow them out in that first game. They go 0-0 into extras. Eflin Luzardo and the Rays put up a 3 spot, and the Fish don't. I think they dropped under 500, 66 and 67 after that second game. Tough times in South Bish, and they passed on all the free players, and that is what happened in the IL. Trev, I think this can be high and tight. A lot of bad team, a lot of good team, bad team. Your Phillies are here. I'll let you cook for a little bit. I'm almost good in the IL.
Yeah, that's what we talked about before the show, that we kind of can skip over this as we do towards this part of the season. Will say I don't think the Marlins skipped over the pitchers. I think the Guardians took all those guys. They did skip over the outfielders, but
right.
Phillies doing their thing. I thought there was some really insightful stuff off the field here. Castellanos talking about what an ovation can do for people, again, with the Trey Turner thing. He's been going off since that. Castellanos is like becoming like this like elder statesman of the big leagues, and like kind of like always says the right things, and he's very well respected. I just love love this clubhouse, dude. I think they're so tight knit and like so good, and they have like Harper leading the way, superstar, puts the work in, plays harder than anybody in the big leagues. Trey Turner, superstar, works his ass off, good guy. JT Realmuto, sex symbol to the max. Everything they have in there is a bunch of dudes who are just good guys working to a common goal. I think if you were to ask me like who do I think has the best clubhouse chemistry in all of the big leagues, I think it's the Phillies.
Castellanos, I've fallen in love with Garrett Cole in the past year and a half or so, because he gives these funny press conferences, but he's so calculated. He's like one of the most calculated humans on the planet. Like he's in it. Castellanos feels like there's zero calculation, but he's so confident in what he believes in that every time he speaks, it's incredible. His quote about Trey Turner is going to be in Philly for 11 years, and he's going to be retired having a beer with his son watching Trey Turner, the Philly. That was like such a fucking baller quote. And he like, you could tell he hadn't really thought about it. He was just like, do you guys know what's happening here? Trey Turner's one of the best players in the world. He's going to be here for over a decade, and I'll be retired drinking beers with my son watching him play. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think that matters, over a long season. And like I said, like they seem like they're having a lot of fun right now. And it shows on the field as they take 2 or 3. You mentioned that last game was back and forth. Shout out Drury. I think he's got close to 100 homers. Hey, you're getting close to the club, big fella. The rest of the stuff, I don't know. What do we got to talk about here? I think we can kind of go on to the second half of the show. Right? Keep going, Toronto. Do your thing. Yeah. Rangers, please stumble this weekend.
Yeah, you can't
against my Twins.
You can't make everyone happy. Rangers, you took care of your business. Toronto, you took care of your business.
Oh, hold
Tampa,
on.
you took care of your business.
This. Angels, let me stomp on your grave a little bit.
No.
8-19 in August. It's the worst run differential of any month in club history at -74. Holy shit.
That was the Interleague, and that brings us to standout performances. Standout performances are brought to you by the John Boy Media Shop. I think, is there a Labor Day sale going too or something
Labor Day
like that?
sale just announced, I saw. So
I think it's like 30% off code. It's like JM.
I don't even know if there's a code. It might be just
it might just
I'll
be
look
straight
into
up.
it. I'll look into it.
We added to our Essentials line is pretty sick. We added some new stuff.
30% off ends 9/4. So that's 3 days from now.
Little Labor Day sale. Get in the mix. Trev, who's your standout?
I cheated a little bit on this because I had one, then I wanted to give 2. I am going with, first I'll start off with my guy, Blake Snell, who went 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earnies, 9 Ks. We didn't really talk about this series because, believe it or not, San Diego Padres and St. Louis Cardinals are bad team. I can't wrap my head around it. He has been incredible. There's a bunch of stuff here for him. I had it up. Where is it, man?
Oh.
A lot of Blake Snell stuff. Oh, here it is. He's thrown 5 or more innings in his 19th straight start. He lowered his Major League best ERA to 2.6, which would be the lowest mark by a starter in a full 162 since Jake Peavy's 2.54 in 2007. Blake Snell has absolutely been crushing it. And I believe, is he not a free agent?
He is.
What's this guy going to make? Love that.
If I'm his agent, I say start it with a 2 or we're not talking.
Oh, my gosh. Good for him. And the second one that I'm going to give out, because this was my first one, was Grayson Rodriguez, who's been really, really good as of late. He goes 6 innings pitched, no one runs. He gets the 6 Ks. Baltimore needs this dude. If they want to continue to stay on top of the AL East, Grayson Rodriguez has to be what Grayson Rodriguez has been since he got called back up. Like he got sent down. So he's been really good, has to continue to be really good. And I think he will be. I think looks like he's turned the corner a little bit here.
The arm talent's sick. His pitch mix is really fun. He can make the ball move kind of any direction. And his last 7 starts, a 2.32.
He's turned his season around, and again, like they need him to be that guy.
Looks like the light bulb's gone off. Couple throwers. I love it, Trev. There is a ton of options. I just want to say his name again because he, again, had one of the best months we've seen. Mookie Betts could have been a standout every episode this month, so I want to make sure he gets proper love, and he does. And I'm going to go with another old dog, another short king who's been at it a while. Jose Altuve throws a cycle out there. I've always been a little bit of a sucker for a cycle. He gets it on the home run, so I think that makes it a little more sick. And as we start doing this more, and as I'm watching Braves-Dodgers last night and looking at high-level baseball, there's going to be a time when we're sitting down and it's October and it's crisp out. And high-level baseball and Jose Altuve, they go hand in hand, man. That the Houston Astros, like you said, they're always going to have a confident walk. I cannot wait till it's postseason and every pitch matters and every at-bat matters, and those good teams you're talking about who don't give anything away. We are going to see Jose Altuve setting the tone for the Houston Astros again as they pursue another World Series and another ALCS and everything they do. So seeing him casually throw up another cycle, 4 RBI, 4 runs, the dude's a sick puppy, man.
He is a sick puppy. First cycle of his career, I thought that was interesting. Bregman was asked after the game about it, and he's like, I can't believe that it was his first cycle of his career. Seems like he does it all the time. He's special, man. He really is.
The guy, not that this matters, the guy's probably 5'5", 5'4", and 160 pounds.
It doesn't matter, not in baseball. That's why it's such a beautiful sport.
48.6 career WAR. Higher batting average, higher OPS than his career this season. So, crazy. Trev, there was a lot of players that could have been on this list, but they might be on the next list.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
All right, for the series. We just talked about this guy, Trey Turner. Phillies shortstop. He went 6 for 12 with 4 homers in the series. He has a hit in 19 straight home games. He loves Philly. He loves it there. Shout out to the fans that made it happen. Gleyber Torres of your Yankees. He went 6 for 14, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 4 ribbies. Hit the longest home run of his career on Tuesday. Went 454.
Yeah. Bomb.
bomb. That's like Jake Storiale blitzball homer right there.
Get ready.
Jason Hayward of the Dodgers. Remember how he was struggling offensively over the last, 4 or 5 years? And then he comes to the Dodgers and just hits the crap out of the ball. He went 6 for 10 with a double, 2 homers, 6 ribbies for a 1.9er in that series for the week of August 25th through August 31st.
Look at this squad.
How about your guy, Toronto second baseman, Davis Schneider? 9 for 17, 3 doubles, 3 homers, 8 ribbies. Schneider has the highest OPS in AL history through 14 career games. That cannot be a right step. There's no way.
He's going nuts, and they're moving him around, too. He's played left field, second base, third base. Like,
Didn't Rhys Hoskins hit like 50 homers in his first 10 games? I guess that's an NL.
Hey, that's
What an
NL,
idiot.
bro.
What an idiot you are, Trev. You host the best baseball show that's ever been invented. You don't even know the difference between NL and AL. Attaboy. How about Luis Renfroe of the Angels? 12 for 25, a double, 3 homers, 6 ribbies. He was batting .219 with a 637 OPS in the first half. Guess what he's doing in the second half? I'll tell you, .312 in the second half average with a 956 OPS. That's good. My guy, Sonny Gray, Minnesota Twins starting pitcher. He pitched 2 games in this week. 14 innings pitched, 9 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks. That's good for a .64. He lowered his ERA to an AL best 2.92, which I already mentioned earlier in the show. He's going off for the 2 weeks. And this, my friends, is the one you want to be on. August 18th through August 31st. How about our guy, Santander?
He's awesome.
Anthony Santander, 15 for 36, 3 doubles, 5 homers, 14 ribbies. He became the first Orioles switch hitter to hit 25 in consecutive seasons since, and I love this guy, Eddie Murray.
Yeah. Hall.
Me and Eddie Murray, we have some fun times together. Let me tell you that right now. I see him in Vegas for this golf poker tournament.
He's
that I mentioned earlier. He's there. And he's something else. That's a great pairing, right? Me and Eddie Murray.
From everything I know, yes.
Yeah. Good times.
Okay.
A lot of good conversations with old Eddie. He's a dog, baby. I love it. I don't know how to say this guy's name. He's not in my book. I think it's Reagans. Cole Reagans.
Yeah. Chapman trade.
Starting pitcher for the Royals now. 3 games started in these 2 weeks. He goes 2-0. He goes 19 innings pitched, only 3 earned runs, 29 Ks. Okay, Cole, you're in my book now, playa. That's a 1.42 and 8.84 whip. That's nice. He finished the month of August with 53 Ks, the second most in Royals history behind Dennis Leonard's 55 in 1977. And the last one, our guy, relief pitcher, Henches, who you were just talking about, the Cleveland bullpen. He pitched in 6 games, 7 1/3 innings, no earned runs, 11 Ks. That'll get you on this list. Shout out Cleveland relief pitcher, Henches.
Man.
And it was in Fuego.
Who did you just shout out with Cole Reagans? That was Dennis Leonard.
Yeah.
Gets a shout out on Talkin' Baseball in 2023. That's where it's different. That's where sometimes we're just not the same. Trev, that was incredible. Man, that Reagans-Chapman trade, that could go down as an interesting one. Maybe even a Jolly Olive players traded for Aroldis Chapman if he turns into something. Trev, the IL, which we hate, but it informs the people. Matt Chapman and Bo Bichette. Yo. I mean, luckily it's allowed Davis Schneider to play, the best player ever. So that's good news, but that's circle that. That's scary. Matt McClain for our Reds. Hate that. What a year. Yu Darvish and Adrian Hauser. 2 also injuries we don't like. Returning from the IL. Ozzy Albies. Thank God. The Braves were swimming for a little bit there. Michael Brantley. Thank God. Houston gets him back. Mitch Haniger and Yaz for the San Francisco Gigantes, adding to their outfield depth. And that's what I've got on the IL, which means one thing only. It's time to start your Labor Day weekend.
Awards!
And awards are brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. College football fans, it already kicked off a little bit. Last night there was a couple games on. UConn Huskies lost. Week 1 is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking you up. You can bet $5 on college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Life's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TALKIN. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TALKIN. The crown is yours. Trev, the crown's been yours, Pop.
I saw Paxton put out an IG post with her, Dalton, and Kels together at the floor ball, and I just got really jealous that I wasn't there.
Yeah. Floor
ball is a ton of fun, man.
Bro, floor ball is going to blow people's minds. Where the warehouse is at now is another step, and we just announced we have our Blitzball Blitz coming up. We're going to be live on our
not a part of that either.
We're going to be live warehouse games the next 3 Thursdays at 5 p.m. 5 teams, 1-inning games, and then we're doing a live event at Billy's in the Bronx. We're trying to get like 500 people there. It's going to be nuts. So, exciting times as everyone at John Boy Media tries to distract themselves from the Yankees. Trev, your award.
I'm getting religious.
Yes.
With this award.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Jesus was a Carpenter award. I went to Catholic school my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Believe it or not. Mass, I went to confession, which is a strange practice, but actually kind of makes you feel good. Feels like, you cleanse yourself a little bit. All you gotta do is say a few Hail Marys, Our Fathers, you're good. I cussed. I was a bad son to my parents. I was mean to my siblings. You never let them know all this.
Right, I was gonna say, like, I would love to hear some of young Trev's full confessionals, but that'll be another show for another day.
Yeah. So speaking of the Catholic religion, one of the main points is this guy Jesus, Son of God, comes down, right? And he lives a normal life until he's like in his late 20s, 30s. Then he becomes Jesus, and everyone starts following him around. But he had a job. And his job was a carpenter.
Yeah.
So he worked with the wood. Now, my question is, I've always asked this question. I'm curious if there's any historians out there, or any, what are they called? Archaeologists?
Okay.
That's who digs things up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have we ever found any of Jesus's woodworking? Like, are there some tables out there that Jesus made? Like, was he a good carpenter? That's the questions that I have.
If they found them, bro, those would sell for a pretty penny.
I'd check out the Yelp review.
Like, does Jesus have a chair that, like, oh, this is Jesus's chair? That thing was sick. Like, if you press the wood here, like Jesus probably made some cool furniture. I have to assume. Do you think he like used his God power to like sand it? Like, he's, I don't want to sand this shit today.
Sand it and snaps.
Yeah, just like that. That's cheating, Jesus. You can't be doing that. Unbelievable. So I was just curious about that. Right. Jesus was a carpenter. You know who else was a carpenter? Kerry Carpenter.
Oh.
Of the Detroit Tigers. I wanted to give this guy a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. He's on the Tigers. We don't talk about the Tigers a lot.
No.
Because they haven't won a lot of games. They're in a weird position as a franchise. But one of the things you have to do as a franchise is hit on guys that are 19th round draft picks. Yeah. That's exactly what the Tigers have done here. 19th round out of Virginia Tech. He's a Florida boy. He's 6'2", 220. This guy's hit every single place that he's been. Okay? Let's bring it into the minors. He played 4 seasons in the minors. 285, 352, 531 for an 883 OPS. Okay? That's good. A lot of guys hit in the minors. In college, only played 1 season. I think he did some other stuff, like some junior college stuff. 862 OPS. Oh, that's nice. It's college. That's amateur ball. Minor leagues. That's minor league ball. What has this guy done at the big league level? He's continued to mash. Overall, in 2 seasons, he's played 122 games, 454 plate appearances. So, like, Not yet a full season, but we're getting there. This guy's put up an 855 with 26 homers, 65 ribbies. He needs to work on the plate discipline a little bit. He's striking out a little too much. But overall, this guy has continued to rake. Like there are some guys, Jake, and I played with a lot of these guys in the minor leagues that just hit. They hit everywhere they go, but not all of them get opportunities.
Right.
There might be like a defensive thing. We don't know where to put them, or they're just blocked, and then they kind of just like get phased out. I could name, I don't know, several guys that I played with that I thought were going to be stars in the big leagues because they just hit, dude. But it doesn't always work out that way. Like I said, you don't always get the opportunities. Kerry Carpenter now has created his own opportunity, dude. Let me get the splits up for you because it is really impressive. He's continued to get better as the season goes on too. Where is it? In April and March, 744 OPS. Okay, it's cold out there, getting the feet wet, new season, all this stuff. Okay. June, 874, starts to step it up. In August, you know what he's got? He one dotted it in August.
Wow.
101 at-bats, 9 homers, 20 ribbies. He 346'd it. 347, 405, 654 for the one dot. So look, I don't know what kind of chairs Jesus made. I don't know if Jesus snapped his finger and made a table when this other Joe Schmo carpenter is like working his butt off. I'm not sure if Jesus took shortcuts. All I'm saying is Kerry Carpenter, that kind of carpenter is going to be a mainstay in the big leagues because this guy rakes at every level that he's ever played at, dude. So I wanted to shout him out. He's having a terrific year on a bad team, so you don't get a lot of light showing on you, but that's what this show is for. That's what these awards are for. We got to highlight the people that deserve it. And Kerry Carpenter deserves the bright lights. So shout out, Kerry.
Trev, you're so right. I've tried to shout him out where we can, but it feels like we've talked about Spencer Torkelson the past month because he went on a little bit of a heater. Kerry Carpenter's blown this dude out of the water, and there's going to be a little bit of Tigers hype train next year. Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Torkelson. They just called up Parker Meadows, younger brother of Austin Meadows. He looks like he's got the goods. That AL Central will be wide open until it's not. And look at what happened with the Reds. If the Tigers can find a couple kids here and there, they've still got a 0.2% chance to win the Central. They play the White Sox twice in their next 3 series. Trev, a great award. I guess a slightly less tasteful, as I usually am. I'm giving out the Crop Dusting Award. It's become a common term in our society, and it's a classic joke if it's done right.
Well, it's also a real thing. You ever seen a plane crop dust?
And it's a real thing in Middle America. I mean,
don't understand it. Why are they dusting the crops again? What does it do?
I think we're killing bugs and stuff, right? And we're probably
a natural pesticide. Love it.
We're probably giving them some performance enhancers too, so our corn gets a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? Roman. The Crop Dusting Award is going to the Chicago Cubs. Because our guy Dalt put something in here that I thought was really interesting. Because I was like, okay, Cubbies, I told you, they've been throwing my equation off for a while now. Like, even when they were looking to trade Bellinger, they had really good offense, defense, and pitching. And I was like, okay, in the NL Central, they got hot. They don't trade. They don't sell. Now it's them and the Brewers up there. It's actually funny. They're 3 games behind the Brewers. 3 games behind them are the Reds. You've heard me do this before. Are you going to join the Reds and hang out back there? Or are you going to join the Brewers and hang out up there? I was proud of the Cubs for taking 2 out of 3 to get a step closer. Their next 11 games in a row are against the teams that are chasing them in the wild card. The Reds, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks. You're playing playoff baseball. You're going to get those teams' best punches. You're going to get relievers pitching in a third day in the row. You're not getting rest days for healthy guys. You're going to get their best shot. And if the Cubs survive this, which I think they will, I think they look good. I think they know what they do and they go and they do it. The Cubs are going to have me, they're going to have me believing more than I have if they can survive this stretch. I know that sounds obvious, and like the Dodgers and Braves feel like they're in another world, but short playoff series, a lot of stuff can happen. And if the Cubs survive this stretch, they survive the trade deadline. If they survive this wild card hunt, manhunt, for 11 games, 14 of the next 17, for the next 3 weeks, they're getting hunted by the teams that want to kill them. If they survive that, man, go Cubs, go. So just crop dust. Leave some little flarts back there. Don't let them catch you.
I like it. Like, I like where you're going. The crop dusting, I don't get the
I probably should have done something about a civilization that survived, like trying to get conquered each time. But I don't know. In my head, I thought it was funny if they were behind them and the Cubs just farted on them.
I see what you're saying a little bit. Okay. Go Cubbies, go. I agree. I think that there's a lot of that coming up because that wild card is so jumbled up. Like, it is going to be playoff baseball for a lot of these teams in September, man. I would love to see them do it. They do have a fun team and they have the pieces to get it done. And we've seen some of these guys be in Chicago for a while and not really have a chance to do what they're doing now. And that's playing meaningful baseball in September. So I'm rooting for that. I think it's going to be good for them. I do want to shout out one more thing about Kerry Carpenter, as I forgot to mention.
Sure.
Jakey-lytics, what do you have to do with runners in scoring position to be a good player? Get hits.
Put the bat on the ball hard.
Just get hits. Just hit with runners in scoring position is going to be good for your team, right?
Yes.
Jakey-lytics. He's one dot in those positions. 77 at bats, 325, 405, 597. Who's the better Carpenter?
Okay.
Jesus or Kerry?
Matt. I also have one more thing I wanted to mention, and I heard it on the broadcast of that Dodgers-Braves game. Dave Roberts openly talks about the Dodgers having a different approach when runners are on base. And there's a lot of teams that do not do that. They're very much the analytics, A swing, like that's the best way to score runs and win games, can't stop the home run. I don't know. I really like the Dodgers offense. And even after Mookie and Freddie, who almost shouldn't count because those are otherworldly Hall of Famers. But man, the baseball last night in LA was a different brand than I've seen all season. Both of those teams kind of been hearing about each other for a while. God, I'm ready for more of that. I'm ready for more of that.
It's almost like your co-host has a saying for that. You got to have more than one club in the bag. Can't just be going up there swinging out your ass. You got to be able to put the bat on the ball when you need to. It's so ridiculous that anybody tried to come and tell people swing as hard as you can every time and try to and guys don't do that. Maybe a few of them do.
Right.
But the fact that some people think that's the best way to score runs in the big leagues is a joke, because that means they've never seen Major League pitching. There are times you just can't get your freaking A swing off. You can't.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
With 1-2 count from Spencer Strider, you're not getting your A swing off?
You know what you're trying to do? See the ball. That little white aspirin pill that I have to get my A swing off on that? No. And what's funny is, I bet if you put any dude that thinks that Any dude that thinks you got an A swing, which is fucking ridiculous. Put them in the box. I want to see them do it. I want to see them even attempt to do an A swing every single time. Now, there are times where you get hot and you feel great and you see the ball like it's so big that maybe you can get into a groove where you are going to crush everything. But I'll also say this, when you're in those grooves, there are times where you don't want to take your A swing because you know it's not the right play.
Right.
Don't make me go old school baseball player. Don't make me.
Trev, I love it.
I already dissed Jesus in this episode.
Well, what a way to start Labor Day weekend. Thank you to Trevor Davis. Just got a funny text from John. Everyone, enjoy your Labor Day. I hope you get a baseball fix in there, too. We will see you guys back maybe Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. We'll see.
Jig sucks.
We'll see. Enjoy it.
No Monday
Labor
episode
Day?
is the point. I assure you.
No Monday up.
We love you.
A lot of John Boy, huh?
Not.
Have fun this week. Go have a blue moon. Or
Yes.
3.
Valencia Orange, baby.